Alright, do you understand domain and range? I want you to graph this and tell me the domain and range of the graph. Well, first of all, the graph of this is going to be similar to the graph of just log base 10 of x, but it's going to be shifted. What does that minus 3 inside do to it?
Shift to the right 3.
It shifts it right 3, and what does the 4 on the outside of the graph do to it? It goes up 4. So my log of x graph is this one where you've got a vertical asymptote and it flips over. It's like the graph of the exponential function flipped of the line y equals x. I'm not going to explain that now, but it just is. So there's my base graph, but if I want to do this graph, I need to, this 2 right here just makes it steeper or less steep. That's all it really does. These things shift it right 3 and up 4, so let's do that with the black. I'm going to shift it right 3. So here, notice my vertical asymptote is the line x equals 0. So now if I shift it right 3, 1, 2, 3, that's my new vertical asymptote, the line x equals 3, which is very important. My graph is going to now be also shifted up 3. I'm sorry, up 4. So it's going to be, instead of here, instead of my point being right there, where that would have shifted over, it's going to now be up 4 from there. So there's my point. Everybody understand what I'm doing here? So my graph is going to go like this. It's going to go down there and it's going to go over like that. Alright, so let's talk about domain. What's the domain of that black graph? The domain, I'm going to use, the domain is I'm thinking of vertical lines. Look at how I'm drawing vertical lines. Does this hit the graph? Do any of these hit the graph? If I start, let's start over. If I start at -1 or negative infinity and I'm coming to the right, I'm looking, scanning. Does that hit the graph? No. No. Remember, I'm doing the black graph. And right there, right at 3, it almost hits the graph, but it doesn't because it's an asymptote. So just to the right of 3 is where it would have hit the graph. So how do I write that in interval notation? I write that as open parentheses, which means not including.
Why would it be negative?
Sorry, thank you, it's positive 3. Just checking if you're listening. It's from 3 to, and then if you keep doing that, when's it going to touch? When is it going to?
Infinity.
I've lost my, there it is. It's, yes, it's going to hit it. It's going to hit it for the rest of eternity. It's going to hit it, and so that's why your domain is from 3 to infinity. Alright, let's find the range now for that black graph. What's the range? Let's do the same thing. Let's take horizontal line starting at negative infinity and let's scan it. Is this touching the graph, the black graph?
Yes.
Down there? Yeah, it's touching the black graph. Am I still touching the black graph? Yeah, I'm going to touch the black graph always. I'm always going to hit the black graph. Any horizontal line that I draw, in other words, any y value that I can think of is going to have an x value associated with it. So the range is from negative infinity to positive infinity. And that's how I think of domain and range. I just think of scanning it from left to right or from bottom to top and asking myself, does this hit the graph?
Okay.
It's kind of like checking if a relation is a function by using a vertical line test.
Yeah.
If that vertical line touches the graph in 2 places, that means it's not a function because there's 2 y values that have the same x value associated with it, which is a no-no for functions.